Hello. Are you excited to start your journey towards becoming an English language fellow? Great. And we're here to help. Welcome to our English language fellow application guidelines and tips video. I'm Robert,
And I'm Thomas.
and we're part of the applications vetting team. We also happen to be former fellows ourselves. I was a fellow in Rwanda.
And I was a fellow in Morocco. Here we were at the 2024 Fellow Orientation in Washington, D.C. We look forward to welcoming the 2025-2026 fellows to D.C. for next summer's orientation. During this video, we'll offer our favorite tips for completing the application. Let's begin.
First of all, the application officially opened on September 1st. To begin, you will want to visit our application portal website as seen here. For first-time applicants, you will want to hit the Create an Account tab when you want to register to begin the application process. Once you do, you will be asked if you are a U.S. citizen and then provide your name and email information. You will then receive a notification in your email inbox to set up your password and login. Once you have set your password, you will receive an official welcome and can begin the application process. Once you have entered, you will see options to start the Fellow, Virtual, and Specialist application. Click on the Fellow application to proceed. As a first-time applicant, you will select No for the first question and then continue the application. If you are a returning applicant and have applied in a previous year, you will see these login steps, and you can sign in using your login credentials. Even though much of your information will carry over from your previous application, we highly suggest reviewing, updating your information, and adding any new documentation before submitting your application. Once you have logged into the application portal, you will see options to start the Fellow, Virtual, and Specialist application. Click on the Fellow application to proceed. If you were a 1920 fellow evacuated due to COVID, this first screen will look like the bottom right photo. Note that if you are either a new user or an existing user, you will need to read and check off the eligibility information for various points before officially starting your application. Keep in mind that completing the application is a multi-step process. You'll be asked for details about your educational background and professional experience, a statement of purpose, a teaching philosophy, and other related information. We recommend first reviewing the application instructions on our website at elprograms.org and then slowly completing the application itself. Remember, you don't have to do it all in one sitting. You can work on certain sections and then save and return at a later date. Once you have completed and submitted the application, you can track your application's progress through the review process. Most of the application will be self-explanatory, but if you do have questions, you can always email the program at fellow@elprograms.org. Be aware that if there are missing sections when you're ready to submit your application, they appear on your dashboard highlighted in blue. Click on the missing information to complete that particular section. Note that we have a December 31st priority deadline. Applications submitted by December 31st have the best chance of being considered for all available projects when the matching phase starts in January. Finally, the application usually doesn't close until July, when the last of the projects is typically matched. Now, here's Thomas with documentation.
Thanks, Robert. Before starting the application, you should probably start by getting out your resume or CV and making sure the information is completely up to date and that your current position is included. Submitting a resume that hasn't been updated may delay the review of your application. Ideally, your resume should mirror your application up until the moment of submission. For those of you reapplying to the program, do keep this in mind. Now that your resume or CV is ready, let's move on to the next critical document, your transcript. You'll need your conferred graduate level transcript, either official or unofficial. Make sure that the words awarded, graduated, or conferred appear on your transcript, along with the date. Oddly, this information is sometimes missing from unofficial transcripts, so be sure to check. There are more details about degree and transcript requirements on our website, elprograms.org. In addition, if you have a graduate degree from a foreign country, you will need to upload a foreign degree evaluation at the time you apply. Otherwise, your application will not move forward in the vetting process and will be delayed until you do so. Another important area to consider is that of your references. You want to choose people who know your work and who will be enthusiastic about your application for the program. Also, be sure to contact your references beforehand to ensure they are willing and available to help in this way. And double check that you have their current email addresses. These details are especially important because the review of your application will begin only when your required references have been received, one of which must be a current or recent supervisor. And for applicants who were a 1920 Fellow, a Virtual Fellow, or participated in the Virtual Educators Program, one of your references must be either a RELO or an embassy contact, otherwise known as a PDS. Again, your application will not move forward until the necessary references have been submitted. But enough about documentation. How about where in the world are fellows placed, Robert?
Well, Thomas, the regional preferences section is where applicants can specify where they are most interested in for a potential fellowship. The application lists 11 regions around the world, and you can choose prefer, open to, or not interested for each region. If you choose not interested to any region, that won't be counted against you, but the more open you are to possible locations, the higher your chances are of being matched. We're always looking for people who are enthusiastic about being matched to places like Sri Lanka, Algeria, Mongolia, or Armenia, and in such regions as Central Asia and East and West Africa. Additional notes regarding preferences can be included in this section as well, related to such things as previous work experience, cultural relevance, or considerations like climate or language. Now, let's move on to the professional experience section.
Yes, this is another key section. We often go directly here to find people with specific backgrounds. This is your chance to add details of your professional work that may not be on your resume, such as the type of classes you've taught, specific areas of expertise, and unique accomplishments that can make your application stand out to reviewers and potential project coordinators, such as embassy members and host institution contacts. Many fellow projects involve working with K-12 teachers, both pre and in service, and your K-12 experience may make you a good match. Please note that fellow projects do not directly work with K-12 students. However, there may be opportunities for community outreach as part of a secondary project. Pay special attention to the teacher training category. While teacher training experience isn't an eligibility requirement, it is one of the program's preferred qualifications. Almost all projects have some teacher training element to them, from teaching undergraduate methodology classes to presenting workshops at conferences. This refers to both formal and informal contexts, such as part of an MA or BA program, a certification program, Peace Corps work, working with a student teacher, mentoring, or conducting informal workshops at your school. Teacher training experience comes in a variety of forms. All have relevance and are important to your application. For selected fellows, a Training of Trainers course will be offered. The course is designed to support both new and experienced teacher trainers with the practical knowledge, skills, and attitudes they need to gather information on global educational contexts and to design, facilitate, and evaluate teacher training programs during their fellowships and beyond. Also, be sure to check yes if you have experience in either ESP or EAP. With ESP, or English for Specific Purposes, make sure you specify the topic area, such as military, journalism, law, tourism, engineering, or business, to name a few. We always have a few projects that focus on EAP as well, otherwise known as English for Academic Purposes. If you have experience with research writing, writing for publication, or writing centers, you should definitely fill in this section. Recently, we've also seen an increase in projects involving CBI, or content-based instruction, as well as EMI, English as a medium of instruction. One example in particular is STEM, or science, technology, engineering, and math, both at the K-12 and the higher education level. So don't forget to mention if you have experience in STEM or teaching any other content areas in the target language of English. Now, you do not need us to tell you how many things have changed over the past few years, especially regarding educational trends. We are interested in any online teaching experience or instructional technology skills you've accumulated over your career, especially over the past few years. This could include such things as revamping teaching strategies, creating materials, building websites, or using other online instructional tools. All fellow projects are in-country assignments. However, fellows may be working with hybrid classes, assisting departments build their virtual education curriculum, or training staff on learning management systems. Finally, there's an other category, and you can add additional information there. You might want to use this section to talk about serving on your ESL department's curriculum development committee, completing a needs assessment project, or leading extracurricular activities such as sports, academic, or social clubs. This is also a good opportunity to showcase experience within intercultural contexts. Fellows require a great deal of flexibility and adaptability, and we found that successful candidates often have experiences working with other cultures or language groups, both abroad and in the US. Among these experiences are activities like volunteer work, teaching with vulnerable populations like refugee resettlement or immigrant work programs, or hosting international students.
Thanks, Thomas. Now, at this point, if you have completed and submitted your application, have met all the eligibility requirements, your required references have been received, and your application essays have been thoroughly reviewed, you will receive an email inviting you for an interview by Google Meet or by phone as a last resort. You will need to review the email carefully. It contains specific information about relevant areas you can expand upon to help you prepare for the interview. Keep in mind that the interviewer has already read your application carefully, so during the interview, you want to go into greater detail and supply new examples. This is a chance to really sell yourself, focusing on your unique achievements.
Robert, if you had just one last tip for our viewers, what would it be?
Well, I think this one is really important. I'd say really focusing on your professional experience and professional capabilities. These are key to matching and making sure they support each other and connect with what's on your resume. How about you, Thomas? What one tip would you like to finish with?
It may sound trivial, but proofread. Have an extra pair of eyes take a look at your application, whether a colleague, a family member, a friend. It is important to note that before one is selected as a fellow, their application will be reviewed by many program stakeholders, ours, U.S. embassies, regional English language officers, otherwise known as RELOs, host institutions, and that's just to name a few.
Well, I think that's a great one to finish with. Know that application reviewers can really tell when applicants put time and thought into their applications, so make sure your story stands out come matching time in January by following all the points we've discussed today. We hope that you found these guidelines and tips to be helpful. Being an English language fellow is a richly rewarding experience. Good luck.
So, what are you waiting for? Don't hesitate. Start your application today and connect with us on social media for the latest updates and success stories from fellows around the world. And remember, should you have any questions, you can always email the program staff at fellow@elprograms.org.